If you are watching this, something already brought you here. Maybe you've been told that your tests are normal, but you know in your body that something is not right. Maybe you're exhausted in a way that sleep doesn't fix, or maybe there's a gap between how you are on the inside and who the world sees you on the outside. Or maybe you have spent so long making yourself smaller, not wanting to take up too much space, not wanting to waste anyone's time, that you've almost forgotten what it feels like to trust your own judgment. Take a moment. Does any of this land for you? Your tests are normal, but something still doesn't feel right. The exhaustion that sleep does not fix. The gap between how you appear and how you actually feel inside. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so you make yourself smaller. Stay with me, because what I am about to share changed my life, and it has changed the life of every individual I have worked with since. I want to start with a word, just one word: patient. We use it so casually in medicine. A patient is someone who sits in a waiting room and waits for someone else to tell them what is happening inside their body. But do you know where that word actually came from? It comes from the Latin patiens, to wait, to suffer, and to endure. That is the role the system has quietly assigned to all of us. And most of us accepted it without ever questioning it because we were trained to. The unpatient way is about stepping out of that role, not rejecting medicine. Good medical care can save lives, and we still need it, but reclaiming your authority over your own body, your own knowing. I was a family doctor for almost 30 years. Competent, capable, credentialed. I loved my patients. I was good at my job, and I was the last individual I was actually looking after. By the time I left medicine, my feet hurt so badly every morning that I would cry before I even got to work. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. I tried everything the system had to offer. Nothing worked because the diagnosis was not the problem. I was disconnected from myself, from what I actually needed, from what my own body had been telling me for years. The painful feet were not a malfunction. They were a message. And once I comprehended that, everything changed. Here is something most doctors never get told in medical school. In 1910, a report called the Flexner Report reshaped medical education across the English-speaking world. The money behind it came from pharmaceutical interests. What got left out of the curriculum was not an accident. The system is extraordinarily good at treating acute illness. It saves lives every day. But when it comes to chronic symptoms, exhaustion, disconnection, that feeling that something is fundamentally off, the system was never built for that. It was built to produce people who keep returning, who keep depending, who never quite learn to trust themselves. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. There are 3 false beliefs that keep people stuck in the waiting room. Each one is worth looking at directly. The first false belief: my body is broken. This is the most costly belief in the entire healing conversation, because the moment you believe you are broken, you look outside yourself for the fix, and you stop listening to what your body is actually telling you. Here is the reframe. Your body is not broken. It is doing exactly what it learned to do. Symptoms are communication. Your nervous system has been signaling something, and somewhere along the way, you stopped trusting the signal, or the circumstances meant you simply could not afford to hear it. The signal never stopped. You stopped trusting it. The second false belief: someone outside of me knows me better than I know myself. This one is built into the system, into the 6-minute appointment, into the dynamic where one individual sits in authority and the other sits waiting to be told what is happening inside their own body. The reframe is this: you were not born to outsource your authority. Intuition is not mystical. It is your nervous system processing information faster than language can keep up with. You were trained to override this, which means it can be unlearned. The third false belief: healing means there is something to fix. This turns you into a project, a problem to be managed, a patient to be processed. The reframe is simpler than the system would have you believe. Healing is not fixing. Healing is remembering, returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. Integration, not management. Homecoming, not repair. I want you to stay with this for a moment. You are not broken. You are disconnected from your own signals, your own knowing, your own body's intelligence. That distinction changes everything. Broken means you need someone else to fix you. Disconnected means you can find your way back. The way back is what I call the insourcing method. 3 stages moving in one direction: safety, awareness, alignment. The first stage is safety. You cannot think your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. Biologically, it simply does not work that way. Before anything else can shift, your body has to feel safe enough to let it. Calming your nervous system is not the same as scheduling a meditation between your 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. meetings. That is scheduling, not regulation. Safety is the biological prerequisite for everything that follows. The second stage is awareness. 95% of what we do every day runs on automatic. Patterns, beliefs, responses we did not consciously choose. They were installed early in our lives and they run quietly in the background, shaping every decision. Once you see the pattern, you can choose differently, but awareness without safety first, nothing holds. The third stage is alignment. Not becoming someone new, returning to who you already are, before the conditioning, before the performance, before the constant checking with others before you trust your own knowing. Decisions that come from inside you, not from what others think you should do. This is where the work becomes the way you live. Just for a moment, imagine this. You wake up and the first sensation is not the immediate run through of everything that needs to be done or the dread that something will go wrong. It is peace, clarity without the research spiral, rest that's actually restful, decisions that come from your own knowing, not from waiting for someone else to confirm you are okay. This is not a fantasy. This is what becomes available when you stop outsourcing your authority and start trusting yourself. Here is where most people stay stuck. You can comprehend everything I just shared, you can see the pattern clearly, and still not trust yourself enough to act. Knowing the why is not the same as how. I have worked with people who could articulate these concepts fluently, yet could still not get out of bed in the morning without that sense of dread. Knowing the name of the pattern is not the same as your nervous system actually feeling safe enough to release it. Some people find their way back on their own, but most people need a guide because the patterns that keep you stuck are invisible from inside the very system that created them. And that's not a failure of intelligence, it's simply how the mind works. So here is the next step. One conversation, 15 minutes, free. It's called a health clarity and advocacy call. It's not a sales call. It is a structured conversation where we identify exactly where you are at right now and what, if anything, the next right step looks for you. No performance is required. No pressure is manufactured. It's just clarity. We look at where you actually are. What is running the pattern underneath the exhaustion, the override, the gap? And which of my 3 pathways, if any, is the right fit for where you are right now? The booking link is on your screen right now. At this point, you already know whether you are ready to step out of the waiting room or whether you're going to continue waiting. The call is free. It's 15 minutes, and you already know whether you are ready. I'll see you there.